Hi, it's Sonia and welcome back to my art channel. This is going to be, I guess, it's not a review, it's a look through some art. Some of it is from this week and some of it is from, well, I've got a pile of paper that I kind of want to look through as well and sort. And that was from when I did a landscape workshop. I had so much work that I think I probably over prepared and I didn't get through showing it, which is fine because obviously I've got a load of sketchbooks as well. Let's get on. Okay, let's try and organise my thoughts a little. Let's start with though some recent work in the last couple of days or last sketchbooks that I've been doing. But I felt the need, I think, in the last couple of days, there hasn't been a huge amount of time for art this week, to be honest. And what I did feel like, this was rather nice. I put this on Substack. I really kind of like this spread. This is a lovely little, it's an abstract notebook that I've talked about. I really like the fact the paper's thin, it's graph paper. It just feels sort of, I guess some people would say it's a place to doodle. I see it as a place to really just let myself be or make some marks. It's great for the end of a session or the beginning of a session to come in and just, you know what I like to do? Okay, this is what I wanted to share this week. I'd forgotten about, sometimes I have these sort of ways of working or methods I help for myself to get myself going, or when I'm not so much burnt, not what do they say when people are stuck? So I like that on my side I've got a big, do you want to see? Okay. I've got this box and it contains pens and it's a mixture of pens, old pens, some of the kids' old pens, a lot of some Poscas. Some of them are so old they're running out. So you've got Crayola, you've got some, this was like some brush pens. Yeah, as you can see, it's just gel pen. I just put sort of old, I don't know what I put in here. I just put a collection of pens. I've been having great fun. Sorry if I jogged it. Doing that, I did it before one time where years ago, I don't know, on a video, grab a handful of pens, use what you pick out. That's a little fun, just a fun creative exercise. You could do it in front of the telly with your family while you're on hold if you're on the doctors, like waiting to pick up, like just have a little. Here, I just used what I picked out of my box. Here, I just kept to a couple of, I like this spread, super simple. I can overcomplicate things a lot of the time, and other days I just want to simplify. I've talked a lot about this. Anyway, so yeah, no, I'm really enjoying this. I'm just enjoying this little low entry, what I call my abstract sketchbook. So yes, and then I've got my altered one, which I might have to take a few pages out of this because as you can see, it's getting quite thick, but I might be okay because I'm not collaging too much in it. My tip though is if you are doing these sort of altered books, is if it is getting too fat, just cut some pages out. Obviously that's quite obvious, but yeah. I did this spread I came back to. So I sometimes paint in these pages with some old jelly gouache, and I came in and I then decided to come back to it and sort of have these sort of negative, cut out these shapes or paint over with another lighter gouache on top of my drawing. I might have shown these pages, sometimes it's slightly out of order. So yeah, these are just more I've prepared. This one I think is relatively recent. Okay, and that's that sketchbook. And then I have, I found, should we do more? Let's keep on the abstract theme. I found on my desk these little, this was an old sort of fold up my own homemade sketchbook I made ages and ages and ages ago, and it's just sat around. So then I've been coming into this one. I don't know if I've shown it, maybe I did, and I came in with some oil pastel, you know, the mono printing. I've got lots more of those to show. I've been really into the oil pastel mono printing, so just using it in a mixed media approach. So this is a fun little, it's not quite finished, but that's building up. And I even had this tiny, talking about concertina sketchbooks, I did make one here. I've got a landscape, I did a landscape series, but this was on, I wanted to try it out with even a smaller size, like a very mini little tiny sketchbook. And the kids, I was using the kids, and this one's just gonna, I don't know, this is gonna be abstract. Oh, this side is busy, but yeah. So that's quite just fun little ideas for if you're having a slow week or you just want to fit in 10 minutes here and there. I've started a new loose because I've done my mixed media sketchbook tour. I kind of want to do another one of these. Here I'm just testing out. These are the Stabilo Woodies. I just wanted to see how they would work covering up text, and I kind of like that effect. Did I do anything else? I think I showed. Oh yeah, then mono printing. That was at the beginning. I shared that here. So that's mono printing. Cool. So that's sketchbooks. And then carrying on with the mono printing theme, I had Caroline from the Joy of Drawing over. We're having a team meeting, and I was sort of sharing this technique with Caroline because I was thinking we've got a Mother's Day workshop coming up that I'm teaching. I think we're going to divide it so it'll be triple the fun, like 3 different teachers in one floral workshop. So I was saying I wouldn't mind doing maybe a session. The only thing is, does everyone have oil pastels? I'm happy to do this technique. But anyway, so it's like when I get going with something, I kind of do want to carry it on. So yeah, as I said, I've been carrying on with the whole mono printing, but with oil pastel in a floral theme. This one didn't. I'm not sure about the colours, a bit muddy here. I also tested out, where is it? These ones, I tell you what, worked out rather well. This is coming up. This series of, I really like these ones. They do, because they're oil pastel, I think they do still smudge actually a little film. Well, you could probably I need to get an oil pastel fixative, really, probably. I like this. This is, I was testing it out on cheap bits of paper. It's fine. And I also covered tin foil. I had to go with tin foil, which is what I wanted to mention quickly. And I'm going to show, where is it? This one here, I might have to lift it up because of the lines. What I found interesting is I've been using a biro for my, to press down and for the mono printing technique. I know you can also use pencils, play around with different sort of ways of pushing the oil pastel onto the paper. Here, what was interesting for me was this was with tin foil. I covered the tin foil in this turquoise oil pastel, and I used a biro, and I got a much thinner compared to. I felt like it was very interesting. I got a nice fine line, and you didn't have to press you had to go actually quite light, otherwise you tear through the tin foil. So that was an interesting finding. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to take a break from that or carry on. I'm doing a floral. My theme for this month on the Joy of Drawing is floral art. So I don't know what I'm going to do though. Maybe gouache flowers. We'll see. Then I don't think did I show this? Or no, because I did the workshop. From the landscape workshop, which was gouache, sort of, what's the word, impressionistic landscapes, I shared, do you know something? I'm actually, have I got I can show you because it's right on my desk. Where is it? Which one is it? This was the reference. And I was like, if I'm doing a live demo, I'm going to have low expectations for my work. I just want people to really enjoy it, and I want others to make work that they're happy with, was my goal. But actually, in some ways, obviously, when you do a demo, you want it, if you're trying to, you've advertised the technique, I wanted, obviously, for it to be gouache and to keep into my gouache landscape theme. And I'm really pleased with this little one. I actually like, what I really do like is using sort of, slightly out of the box colours, maybe like this purple, really. I love that coming into the drawing. I like the fact that with the pencil, you can draw over the gouache. I like the fact that there's obvious drawing within the sketch, and that little patch of, I think it was a red or a rusty red. Oh, and I used pencil for this little, was it a lake? I don't know what that is, but from a hike, yeah. So that was good. So I was pleased with that. And did I show this one? This was just me prepping. I did do a lot of prep. What I really also liked is someone commented on Substack, because I shared the stills there. And they said, I can see your abstract work coming in. I'm like, yes, that's, as I talked about, I wrote an essay on why I love abstracts. And that was one of the major, it wasn't just that I love abstracts, like the abstract, whatever you want to call that sketchbook, this sketchbook play, doodling, mucking around, whatever you want to call it. I feel like it comes into getting a bit braver with landscapes, like mark making, sort of more abstract dashes that add to a sense, an atmosphere, or just liven up a piece, make it a bit more interesting for me than the original photo. And that's what I'm always up to. And here I played a little bit more with, move this out of the way, landscapes this week. I've shown them before. I've got a lot of papers, Japanese watercolours, where I had fun just on drawing paper, and I sort of have them in a sort of a, what's the word, a foldery, well no, a box. I just grab them when I feel like it. And here I had some gouache left over, good gouache, and I just went in with gouache and played with these sort of marks. And I kind of like that sort of, it's a sort of an imaginary scene. I imagine if you were into sort of like if I was ever wanting to do sort of illustration or sort of, it would be quite a fun scene to put a couple of characters in sort of an illustrative way, sitting there by the pond, kids or animals. But at the moment I kind of like it. I can play about with cropping it maybe it's a bit too, that pond's right in the middle. But no, I kind of like the blooms and the sort of the more graphic gouache on top. All right then, so we're nearly done. I'm not going to make this too long a video. In some ways, this video is also for the benefit of myself, to have a think about what do I want to do. The weekend's coming up. What would I like to do at the weekend? And also, I do want to write. I like the idea because I think it's good for me to also write out ideas on art. And I was aiming for a monthly Substack, but I'm really late because I've had the workshops and other things going on, some family stuff. So I am wanting to, my next essay that I would like, since I've done this, completed this landscape workshop, to sort of clarify my own thought process on what am I enjoying in landscapes? Why is landscape fun? What is it why do I come back to it? It's still one of my favourite genres. Yeah, so these are just works on paper, landscapes, and more loose. I think the point is, here is I've shown this one, the Concertina sketchbook. This I like. I suddenly found this in a pile, and this is just for me watercolour. Was it? I think it's watercolour, Japanese watercolour, and I like that scene, so I'm going to keep it. These are just bits of paper that I was testing in the. This one is funny because it's sort of an abstracted landscape that came out of nowhere, but I like this. I don't know, artists like Diebenkorn or the certain, I don't play about with landscapes. This was an old, so some of this I might have shown before, to be honest with you. As I say, why I wanted to show people at the end, which I didn't really get around to completely, was if you make mistakes, if you don't like your work from one workshop that you take and you've paid for, like, I think the point is it's been worth the time, because if you spent a couple of hours or you've spent an hour on a landscape, where can you go from that? Like, where do you want to take it? And if you hate it, you could cover it up. Like, often I cover up work with, as long as you know what will layer well, like acrylics can go on top of a lot of things. And here, this one is very layered. This has, and you can play around with expressionistic colours. So my bottom layer, I think, is probably watercolour, and then I've got pencil, all sorts going on there. If you like a technique, what I was also hoping to say is, if you like a technique, think about doing works on paper that you can put up on your wall, which actually I have got a little, I'm not going to tear it off the wall because I bet you would rip the masking tape, but I like to stick them up on my wall. This is more, I didn't do seascapes because I feel that's another sort of session on it set by itself. This is sort of very expressionistic. Yes, I think I have shown a lot of these, but we'll just go, as I say, I want to have a look through to get I might share some of these, take images for as stills, and think about what are I think my thoughts from it all. What are my take homes? Well, I made a slide. My take homes in terms of what I find useful is, and what I'm trying to show here, what I wanted to show this is make a lot of landscapes, make a lot of work. If you do enjoy, this back to basics, if you really enjoy art and you want to progress, but you're feeling low in your confidence, or you just feel like you want to change direction, just make work and play about with the new genre or the new way of working you're interested in. Maybe combine some of the things, nothing is wasted. Like a lot of times people, like if you want to loosen up, but all that traditional drawing techniques, they're not wasted because they will come back into new ways of working. And sometimes you might want to just, you know, go back old style and practice, do a copy, do a master study as well, because there's always something to be learnt from. All artists have been, you know, I think, use other people's work in some ways to either inspire or to learn from or develop their own taste. What do they like, not like? This one I've shown this lots, but I really love this one. I think it's just simple things. It's just this, if I took away that, yeah, it's that neon orange line for me personally, but that's my taste. That's my preference for the mood in this picture. Yeah, these ones I'm sure I've shown, but I was trying to, I've got piles of work and I was trying to get it organised into, landscapes. Okay, this is what I was talking about. I've got these pieces of paper. I actually didn't want to, does this sound a bit funny? I don't want to go on top of this one. I kind of like it. Someone in the class actually said she wasn't necessarily like, you know, hadn't done the gouache, hadn't followed the course, but I loved her work. And I was like, I want to do, a lot of the time I like interactive classes is when I get to see other people's, other students' work when you are participating, or like when you go open sketching, you're like, oh my gosh, I like yours. I wonder how I could like bring that into my practice in a sort of a steal like an artist way. So I really like, she had some really like watercolour blurry, I was like, whoa, that has atmosphere. This one doesn't, and needs, for me, is one that needs a lot of work. So yeah, I think I showed a lot of these. These were ones I actually did for prep. I really wanted to try and get sometimes I take break from doing gouache paintings as such. And yeah, sorry, I've shown all these. I'm sure I did in my, but some of these are very old. These are traditional this is watercolour on, well no, this is gouache on a nice Arches paper. And see, look, I've completely jumbled stuff up because this is not, maybe I think again this one I showed, didn't I? I love this one though, because of I've got the monoprinting technique going. So yeah, this new monoprinting technique, quick, and as I said, I keep these bits of the paper that I use. I can even see one here. I mean, probably this may have got to the end of it, but you can just reuse, grab it, add a few marks, and you've, you know, just change up where a piece is going. Okay, so I think that's it from me. I hope wherever you are, you've had a good week, maybe with a bit of art or lots of art. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back next week, and I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. So yeah, that's a great way to end, isn't it? Anyway, all the best, and I'll see you next time. Bye.